Do you know what the harshest punishment life can inflict upon a human being is? Many people would say it is failure, but I don't think so. Failure, as painful as it may be, is at least a result. It is a period at the end of a sentence, a clear sign that you need to turn the page and start a new chapter. No. For me, the most terrifying, the most cruel punishment is waiting. It is the state of limbo. It is when you pour your heart and soul into something, yet you receive absolutely no signal back from the universe. No success, but no failure either. Just a silence that stretches on into infinity. That is exactly what I went through during the 100 days I faced this seed. Look at it. In the early days, it didn't look like a sprout of life. It looked more like a stone. Its shell was black, hard as cold steel, and completely barren. When I placed it into this soil, I thought I was beginning a journey of hope, but I had no idea that I was stepping into a prolonged psychological war. The first 10 days passed. I still held on to my optimism. I watered it, I monitored the light, I examined it every morning when I woke up, hoping to see a tiny crack. But no, the ground remained flat. The seed lay there, immobile and stubborn, refusing every bit of my care. Then 30 days passed, a whole month. Just imagine, 30 days is long enough for a habit to become an instinct, long enough for a physical wound to heal. But for this seed, 30 days was like the blink of an eye. Around it, weeds had sprouted, lived their short lives and withered away. Other plants in the garden had put out new leaves, but this one, it remained just a silent stone. At this point, doubt began to creep into my mind. I started asking myself, what on earth am I doing? Am I watering something that is already dead? That feeling is terrible. It's like sending out hundreds of job applications and not receiving a single reply. Or like writing a book for years without knowing if anyone will ever read it. You feel like you are having a monologue with the void. You feel time slipping away wastefully, and you feel like you are being left behind. Day 60, 2 months. My patience had hit rock bottom. I was angry, truly angry. I wanted to dig it up, smash that rigid shell just to see what was inside. Why was it so stubborn? Why wouldn't it cooperate? I gave it the best soil, the cleanest water, yet it responded to me with cold indifference. Looking at that barren seed, I saw a reflection of myself in the most stuck phases of my life. There are times when we feel trapped. We want to scream, we want to break things to escape, but life seems to force us into a sealed box, commanding us to sit still. We watch our friends get promoted, we watch others find happiness, while we are marching in place. That feeling of helplessness, it erodes our will far more terribly than any failure ever could. But then, on a rainy afternoon on day 80, as I sat watching the rain fall onto the pot of soil, I suddenly realized something. Maybe I was wrong about that hard shell. I had viewed that thick, tough casing as a barrier preventing life, but what if it was protection? What if this seed knew that the world outside was a harsh place and it wasn't strong enough to face it yet, so it chose to hide? There are seeds like the ancient lotus that can sleep for hundreds of years, keeping the life inside that stone-like shell intact, just waiting for the one perfect moment to wake up. It turns out, waiting is not passive. Waiting is a process of accumulating massive energy. Inside that stone-like exterior is a nuclear reactor that is compressing. It is compressing and compressing and compressing. It needs that much time because what it is about to create is not a weed that lives for a few days and dies. What it is about to create is a solid timber tree that can exist for 100 years. And to support such a magnificent future, it needs a magnificent preparation to match. You cannot build a skyscraper on the foundation of a hut, and you cannot expect brilliant success with superficial preparation. The longer the wait, the stronger the foundation. And then, day 99, I saw a crack. It wasn't big, just a tiny line running along the body of the seed. But to me, it was like a clap of thunder in a clear sky.
The cold steel shell that I once thought was impenetrable had finally surrendered to the internal power of the life germinating inside. Can you imagine the immense pressure that tiny sprout had to generate to break that stone shell? It had to tense up, to channel all the vitality accumulated over 3 long months into a single point. That was a punch of life. Day 100. The explosion. There are no other words to describe it. It didn't grow gradually. It shot up from the ground. Within just 24 hours of breaking the shell, that green sprout rose proudly, leaving all the surrounding weeds far behind. The leaves unfurled, lush, thick, and overflowing with vitality. Looking at it, no one would think it had just spent 100 days buried. People only see the brilliant beauty of the present, but I know, and it knows. This beauty was paid for with 100 days of loneliness. This stability was paid for with 100 days of compressing under pressure. This 100-day journey taught me a lesson that I will probably carry with me for the rest of my life. That is, never underestimate the power of those who are silent. And if you, the person listening to these words, are feeling forgotten by life, if you feel like you are waiting too long for an opportunity, for love, or for recognition, please do not despair. You are not stuck. You are not a useless stone. You are a hard-shelled seed. The reason you have to wait longer than others is that what you are nurturing inside is far greater than what others are carrying. Life is forcing you to compress, so that when the time comes, your resilience will propel you further than anyone else. Do not try to pry your shell open too early. Do not envy the weeds that grow fast but die young. Be patient with yourself. Cherish this winter sleep to forge your inner strength. Read books, learn skills, work in the dark, take care of your health, nourish your soul. Because believe me, the moment you break that shell will be the most brilliant moment. Nothing can stop you anymore. The ground has cracked. The light is right overhead. Stand firm. Your time starts right now.